Food prices push inflation rate to 27.33% in October 2023, says the National Bureau of Statistics. Federal government set to implement new policies and programs that will revive and strengthen the livestock industry. Nigeria is said to be top rice buyer globally, as it is projected to import 2.1 million metric tons of rice in 2024. Plus, stock markets fall as experts fear China and global downturn risk. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Bakar, your guide. Now let's begin the program by telling you that Nigeria is projected to import 2.1 million metric tons of rice in 2024, which may make the country the top rice buyer globally. Latest Rice Outlook report by Economic Research Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture says global rice trade will hit about 552.85 million tons by 2024, with more export expected from Brazil and South Korea and more imports expected from Burkina Faso, Indonesia and Nigeria. According to the report, weaker rice production is expected in Nigeria and 7 other countries: Costa Rica, Ecuador, Mali, Turkey and Uzbekistan. It added that global rice production in 2023-2024 is projected at record 517.8 million tons, which is a decrease of 340,000 tons from last month's forecast, but 4.4 million tons larger than a year earlier. Out of the projected rice production figure, Nigeria is expected to produce about 5.23 million tons. The federal government has identified education and skills development as a panacea for addressing poverty and hunger in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this during a meeting with a delegation from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation led by the president of its Global Growth and Opportunity Division, Mr. Roger Voorhees. The presidential villa, he underscored the impact of climate change on the agriculture productivity and urgent need to adopt climate-smart agricultural practices to ensure food security for Nigeria's growing population. The vice president urged the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to forge a strategic partnership with the Nigerian government to enhance agricultural productivity, improve nutrition, and strengthen the education sector. He also charged the foundation to support President Bola Tinubu's gender empowerment initiatives, collaborate in expanded access to quality education, and further provide opportunities for skills development, particularly in the agricultural sector. He notes that the programs which are focused on the girl child are critical to Nigeria's drive to alleviate poverty, as education and skills development are key in addressing these. Vice President Shettima expressed his appreciation for the foundation's significant contributions to Nigeria, particularly in the areas of polio eradication and primary health care delivery. President of the Global Growth and Opportunity Division, Rogers, said he and his team were in the country to strengthen existing collaborations with Nigeria and also seek other areas of partnership with the new administration, especially in priority sectors. He commended the Tinubu administration's agenda on food security and healthcare delivery, while acknowledging the vice president's leadership and commitment to nutrition and agricultural transformation. He assured of the foundation's commitment and readiness to support efforts aimed at achieving set goals and objectives. Nigeria's headline inflation rate increased to 27.33% in October 2023, with the rate hike attributed to the increase in food and non-alcoholic beverages. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the October 2023 inflation rate increased by 0.61 percent points when compared to the September 2023 headline inflation rate, which was 26.72%. On a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 6.24 percent points higher compared to the rate recorded in October 2022, which was 21.09%. This shows that the headline inflation rate on a year-on-year basis increased in October 2023 when compared to the same month in the preceding year, that is October 2022. A breakdown of sectorial contributions to the total inflation showed food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuel, clothing and footwear, transport, furnishings, household equipment and maintenance, as well as education and health, were the highest rate pushers. Meanwhile, in a chat with newsmen about the inflation figures in Abuja on Wednesday, the spokesman of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Isa Abdulmumin, expressed optimism that the low rate of increase in the average rate level in October compared to September 2023 was a pointer to the fact that the bank's monetary policy stands to tightened rates and its money market reforms were yielding the desired effect. In spite of 0.61% increase in the headline inflation rate from 26.72% in September 2023 to 27.33% in October 2023, Issa remained upbeat that the CBN was headed in the desired direction in terms of achieving price stability. According to him, available statistics showed that the first indication of deceleration in prices was recorded in September, and further reforms in the money market, which commenced in October, had accelerated easing in prices, as indicated by the substantial drop in month-on-month changes recorded in October. Our Business Express continues after the break. Now to our discussion. As cost of living rises and Nigerians bear hard living conditions, Nigeria's inflation has risen again to 27.33% in October from 26.72% in September 2023. Our attention on Business Express this morning is on rising figures. Our guest is an economist, Mr. Rotimi Fakejo, who speaks to us from Lagos. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Mr. Rotimi.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, let's delve into it. Food continues to be the major driver of inflation, as food inflation rose to 1.52% on a year-on-year basis in the latest inflation figure. Why is this a continuous decimal?
Well, there is no way it won't be that way because the major component of our food consumption is imported. That is, in every home, virtually in every home in Nigeria, rice is consumed every day. And more than 60% of that consumption is imported rice. And as long as we have rising exchange rates or stable exchange rates, definitely it will impact negatively on the cost of foods. So that is why we are having it that way. So there is very little that can be done at this time, except when more of what we consume are produced locally. We definitely at such a time, we begin to see a stable prices and a downward trend in inflation.
Okay, you talked about importation. Now that Nigeria will likely be one of the major importers of rice going forward, so I don't know what's going to be in terms of food inflation.
Well, definitely, we know fully well that even the zones within the nation, the agricultural zone that are producing rice, they've really been very much impacted with insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, and all sorts. So that has affected production from that side. And so if we accept such a checkmated and the farmers have renewed confidence to to go to their farms and have no fear of being attacked or being hindered from doing their normal work, definitely we will still depend so much on importation of rice. And as such, we know the consequential effect of that. But be that as it may, I believe the current government is ready and prepared to actually tackle insecurity, to help the farmers, and also to see how we can mitigate the problem of excessive food importation. So I think until all hands are on deck, and these things don't produce immediate results. So as all hands will be on deck, then definitely we begin to see results. But for now, I don't see any way out of the quagmire that we are in.
Okay, how much is this is attributed to a supply chain disruption and as well as the exchange rate?
Well, the exchange rate definitely is the most unpredictable at this point in time. Government is trying to clear backlog of foreign exchange deficits to airlines and to those who want to repatriate profit and all sorts. But even at that, the exchange rate keeps fluctuating, and speculators are still very much in town. So for that, I believe that there is no way that the supply chain will not be highly disrupted. But one thing again I say is, until we produce what we consume and we consume what we produce, at such a time, we may not really be able to do anything much about this. Because monetary policies alone cannot fight inflation. And I think that was a mistake the last administration made. And I believe that this administration will not make the same mistake. Until we find a coordinate between fiscal and monetary policy, and the two major players are actually coming together to see how they can form a synergy to be able to help out the economy, we may not really see much way out. But there is hope that because the person who is the CBN governor, the person who is the Minister of Finance, they both work together, and I don't foresee any form of rivalry between them for who takes credit for what. So I believe that there will be that synergy, and then we can have very good results.
But the thing here is the CBN is saying now this latest figure shows some sort of deceleration, and they are telling us that the monetary policy instrument is actually working. What's your thought on that? Because what you are saying is somehow contrary to uh, uh, what the CBN is saying. They are saying that is there some sort of deceleration, and probably we might likely see tightening of monetary policy, right?
Well, it's not outrightly contrary.
Okay.
Because we are seeing a deceleration in increase in inflation rates. The intervention in the foreign exchange supply has worked or is working, but that may be in the short term. We are looking at something that will be of a good consequence in the medium term and also in the long term. And like I did say earlier, until there is good coordinate between the fiscal and monetary policy, the efforts that CBN is making right now will have much more impact when that synergy actually occurs and is sustained. So, not that what they are doing right now is not correct. It is correct, but it will yield more results, better results, more impactful results if there is more synergy between the fiscal and monetary policy.
Okay, well, before I let you go, let me ask you this. Is there any hope in sight? And should we expect a downward trend? And how?
Well, I think we will experience downward trend because now the last time the Minister of State for Petroleum was saying that he's going to hold the NNPC responsible for the deadline they are giving for the takeoff of the refinery that have been, what will I say now, giving a turnaround maintenance. And we're also seeing that some local refineries, some modular refineries, those small ones, are saying that they are ready. There was one that was commissioned in Edo State, I think in a week or 2 weeks ago. Then there is also the Dangote refinery also. So I believe that with this coming into effect, it will reduce the impact or the pressure on the foreign exchange of Nigeria. We will import less, if at all. We will still continue to import refined petroleum products, if at all we continue to import. It's going to be very much less. So we're going to have all-round effect coming from the local refinery of crude oil for local consumption. So in that way, definitely we are going to see a downward trend in the inflation rate, and it's definitely going to be sustained. So I believe if what we have been told are going to be implemented fully, then definitely there is a great hope for Nigeria. And I believe that's why the present administration has told us there is a new hope with kind of strategies that he has in mind and putting in place. I believe that definitely there is a better future for Nigeria.
Mr. Rotimi Fakayojo, it's been a pleasure having you in the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, moving on, the livestock industry, apart from its diverse nutritional benefits to the country, is also a multi-billion naira business to those engaged in it. Well, for them, life and business are about to get better as the federal government is set to implement new policies and programs that will revive and strengthen the industry. This is coming from no other than one who should know, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Musa Babalu, tells us about this good news.
Climate change has been identified as a major environmental challenge affecting livestock development in Nigeria. The incessant clashes between farmers and livestock breeders is often linked to the effects of the climate change. However, the national chairman of All Progressives Congress (APC), Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, says mitigation and adoption of modern animal breeding is a sure way to address the problem.
Strategies to mitigate farmer-cattle herder conflict include but not limited to creation of awareness of climate change, tree planting campaign, use of improved technology, interreligious dialogue, payment of compensation, establishment of grazing land policy, adoption of ranching policy, early warning mechanism, animal identification, and the traceability system.
Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security Ali Sabi Abdullahi says government has identified the challenges confronting livestock and efforts are underway to address them.
The ministry is promoting livestock programs that have received the good attention of the Federal Executive Council in an effort to bridge the gap between demand and supply of animal products. Some of these programs include 1. National Pasture Development Program, which is focused on promoting homestead and commercial pasture production for sustainable ruminant production and reduce conflict between crop farmers and livestock herders.
It is manifest that the issue of food and nutrition security is very critical and central to the renewed hope agenda of the federal government. Consequently, as a regulatory body in the livestock subsector, NIAS will continue to strive to be very innovative, strategic, and transformational.
The 25th meeting of the Animal Science Association of Nigeria and Nigerian Institute of Animal Science focused on the challenges of climate change on animal agriculture. Musa Aliyu.
We now move to the commodities market where oil prices fell on Thursday, extending losses from the previous session as signals of high supply from the United States met worries about lackluster energy demand from China. Brent futures slipped 72 cents to $80.46 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude shed 67 cents to $75.99 a barrel. Both benchmarks fell more than 1.5% in the prior session. WTI's front-month contract also traded below the price for the second month, a structure known as contango, suggesting that investors expect prices to increase. Gold prices inch higher on Thursday, buoyed by expectations that the Federal Reserve has come to the end of its tightening cycle. Here's a look at prices of other commodities on the global markets. On the stock market, as China global downturn risk loom, Asia stocks fall. Bossy Abel has an update.
Hello and welcome to the Global Market Review. European markets are heading for a negative open this Thursday morning, reversing positive sentiment seen earlier in the week after the release of positive data from the US and China. FTSE rose 0.62%, while DAX and CAC remained unchanged. Hong Kong stocks led declines in Asia this Thursday morning as Spain-led electronic vehicle stocks lower, while investors digested higher-level discussions between the United States and China. The Hong Kong index fell 1.12% at 17,876.90. The Shanghai Composite dipped 0.67% at 3,052.15. And the Nikkei also dipped 0.28% across 33,424.41. US S&P 500 futures were little changed Thursday as investors look to extend November's hot streak. Futures tied to the broadband market index inched lower by 0.08%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is in red. S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite also followed suit. The momentum seems lower for most African markets this Thursday morning, with South Africa and Namibia resuming red. That's the global market resume for Thursday morning. I am Bossy Abel. Back to you, Musa.
Thank you, Bossy. They're not quite good for most markets, it seems like, but we hope at the end of the day, things will get better Well, this is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Friday at 3 p.m. I'm Musa Bakar. Thanks for your company.